How's everyone doing? I um I have a bit of a technical note to kick things off. Thank you very much for being here. Um yeah, my name is Sydney. This is the SydStream where I talk about whatever I feel like once a week. The format is the format of this stream is me trying to figure out what the format of my stream is in front of all y'all. And I want to start with a quick technical note. On YouTube, you have a latency thing that you can toggle to control the delay between what I'm saying and what you're seeing on stream. And I forgot to put it on low latency. So the delay is longer than I would like it to be. I almost felt like restarting the stream, but I'm gonna soldier on. I see the comments coming in. Thank you very much, Noctil and Mr. Kaufman. So, what did I want to talk about today? I gotta say, this stream is more last second than I want it to be. But yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm glad those of you in the chat right now are feeling well. If you're watching this in the VOD, as you may know, I do this every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, and I would love to see you here. Yeah. Oh, before we get started, I have two segments that I plan on doing tonight, and I want to. I'm gonna have to start preparing less for this stream. What I mean by that is the the what do I mean by that? Yes, okay. So there's this game called Stardew Valley that I like playing on stream, and I my strategy for that was to have like some filler to pad my 1 hour show with. I want this stream to be 1 hour, and I watched some YouTube videos about how to become a Twitch streamer, and I realized that there were some really basic things that you have to do if you want to be a successful Twitch streamer. And the last time I streamed myself playing Stardew Valley, I was doing the opposite of those things. So I really want to get some practice playing a game on stream, but that shall probably not be tonight. Yes, the key to a good stream is thinking you will prepare something and then never doing it. Actually, that that actually ties into something. Last week when I talked about game stonks, there were some things that I like to leave surprises for myself during the stream to discover things and react to them genuinely for the first time in front of you guys. And in my excitement to cover the game stonks thing, I left some things out. I don't think, in retrospect, I don't think I said anything that warrants like issuing some kind of correction or things like that. But there were some things that I forgot to cover, that I forgot to mention, that leaves me the it 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 would leave a viewer with the impression that I'm more optimistic about this than I really am. So one of the key things that I want to mention is, as far as the mass amateurization of speculation is concerned, there's one thing that I want to point out, and this is just pre-segment banter. Let me just summon up the chart here to illustrate my point. No, it's GME. So if, like, again, as far as the mass amateurization of speculation goes, let me just remind OBS Studio what my damn Chrome window is. Which one is it? It's this one. Boom. Okay. So, yes, save. Good. So, like I was trying to say, um, there's one thing that these Wall Street bets guys have to get right, which I see no indications that they're doing. Like the whole, this whole adventure was, I would consider it a successful proof of concept, but there are two huge advantage that the Wall Street hedge funds that they're trying to take down have over these guys. That is connections and endurance. And this right here is a lack of endurance. Like it goes, and you know, $50 is still significantly higher than say $20. It's about double, but compared to this thing, it's and again, this is straight up market manipulation. There's no denying that. But this pattern of pumping it up and then it deflating like a couple days after shows up in the other examples that I've heard of, like not AMS. I don't know what AMS is. American Shared Hospital Services. Seems like good people. AMC, same pattern. Like that. And also apparently they wanted to do something like that with silver, which this a big rise followed by a big fall. Like I see although this is market manipulation by the little guys, so I don't feel as bad for it. I don't feel as bad about it. It doesn't come off as sleazy. However, there's no denying that you can't artificially inflate something for too long. So yeah, there was something else that I wanted to mention, but let me just read Mr. Kaufman here. It's not just endurance. I wouldn't be shocked if a bunch of so-called diamond hands were saying they were going to hold it. They were going to hold a dumping on a new WSB members. Oh yeah, I'm assuming there's a typo in there. They're holding but dumping. Yes, absolutely. It's very easy to say that you're buying or selling stock, but who knows? Which lends credence to my I think that if people like the ability to just say you're doing something without saying it is even more exacerbated on sites like 4chan where you're anonymous. By definition, like there are ways to tag yourselves, but it's strongly frowned upon on 4chan. So anyway, there was something else I wanted to mention, but I think that is enough. I want to chat about something else real quick before moving on to my first topic. Any of y'all watch? Any of y'all interested in comics? I I'm mentioning this because on oh let me I'm mentioning this because on Friday my Twitter went crazy with some WandaVision developments that happened in the last episode, and I gotta say, WandaVision, I like Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch was one of my favorite like B-list mutants. Uh, for a while. I was really excited when she was in the movies, but when I saw the promo for WandaVision, I was like, nah, this isn't for me. This looks kind of dumb. And then when I saw the excitement on Friday on Twitter, I was like, okay, if so many people are this excited, there must be something to it. So I popped it in and started watching a couple episodes, and I got to tell you, Jesus Christ, it was so stupid. That was my first impression. But what I did was okay, about a minute into the first episode, I started like skipping forward, and then like 3 minutes in, like in Vision's first scene at work, I was like, "Fuck this! This is stupid," and I moved on. But convinced that all these people being so excited about what happened on Friday, there was something there. I started episode 2 and bailed on it really quickly. And Episode 3, same thing. All that to say, the I watched episode 4, and I gotta say, it's looking like a good show. There is some genuine, interesting intrigue. It's a shame that it took them 3 episodes to get to the good part. But the takeaway is, if you tried watching WandaVision and you thought it was a stupid show that sucked balls, just pop in episode 4 and see how you like it then. And each episode starts with a previously on WandaVision, and it gives you everything you need to know. So, yeah, I enjoy it. I'm going to continue watching it. So, on that note, I think it's time to get on the first segment. We're going to do things. I'm going to talk about Black History Month first. That's what I want to do. Uh, yeah, it's another one of those things where I have some things that I want to talk about. Hopefully, it makes enough sense. And yeah. All right. Wait, let me just. You're welcome for muting myself for that. So, let's see here. Oh, let me just bring this up. Yeah, for those of you who are wondering what I'm doing, the general format that I'm going for is it's a racket that I see all the time, and I'm not using racket disparagingly. I'm using racket in the sense of a machine, a content machine that I see a bunch of people doing. I am recording segments live on stream that I will later upload as their own YouTube videos. So I'm just preparing a couple of things for that. Nope, this one I will do later. So let's get started. All right. Man, I have no idea how I'm going to introduce this section. Oh, yes. All right, let's do this. So it's February, and you know what that means. It's Black History Month. I'm not entirely sure why I'm chuckling, but Black History Month is something that I've had an opinion on for a couple of years now, at least, and I wasn't really planning on talking about it for reasons that'll probably be clear later. But yesterday, I heard wind of a story that I would like to share with you. If you haven't heard of it, um, it will be an interesting read. And if you have heard of it, well, I will read the article first and then share my thoughts on Black History Month in a more general sense afterwards. Utah parents drop Black History curriculum opt out request. Okay, let's read this. This is from the Associated Press. What I do when I see that a story is popular, I try to find a center-leaning publication to read the article for. I prefer sources like Reuters or BBC, that kind of thing. But AP is good. Let's read. Northern Ogden, Utah. Parents who sought to opt out their children from learning Black History Month curriculum at a charter school in northern Utah have withdrawn their requests. Maria Montessori Academy in North Oregon experienced a public backlash after announcing plans to make participation optional, the Standard Examiner reported Saturday. Let's make this bigger for y'all. There we go. Yeah, there we go. That'll do. We regret that after receiving requests, an opt out form was sent out concerning activities planned during this month of celebration. a statement from Academy Director Mika Hirokawa and the school's board of directors said, "We are grateful that families that initially had questions and concerns have willingly come to the table to resolve any differences, and that this time and at this time no families are opting out of our planned activities as we have removed this option," the statement said. School officials said a few families requested the exemption from the instruction, but declined to say how many or specify the reason given. Yeah, I'm sure the form that they sent had at least you had to tell them why. I'm sure. Betty Sawyer, head of the Ogden chapter of the NAACP, said she contacted the school Saturday morning about the decision to make Black History Month curriculum optional. Data from the Utah State Board of Education shows that only 3 of the Academy's 322 students are black, while 70% are white. Wait, that doesn't add up. Okay, there are other races than black people and white people. Yeah. Hey, I guess the numbers do add up. Okay, let's continue. Hirakawa wrote on the school's Facebook page Friday that he reluctantly issued a letter explaining families are allowed to exercise their civil rights to not participate in Black History Month at the school. The Facebook page appeared to have been removed Saturday. Holy shit, that must take a lot of backlash. In future, Jesus Christ, this is broken English. Okay. In future, the school plans to handle parental concerns on an individual basis, Hirakawa said. Discussions held with the parents will not result in a change to the Black History Month curriculum, which is based on Black history instruction using state social studies standards, Hirakawa said. Hirakawa, who is of Asian descent, really? Said the social media post went against his personal beliefs as the great grandson of people sent to a Japanese internment camp. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I personally see a lot of value in teaching our children about the mistreatment, challenges, and obstacles that people of color in our nation have had to endure, and what we can do today to ensure that such wrong things don't continue, Hirakawa said. Okay, that's the end of the article. I I wasn't sure what to expect. The way that that I had heard of the story, and I'll actually link to it below, was through the Philip DeFranco show, and the way that I didn't know if it would be covered in this article, but the way he framed it was that parents were raising objections about the curriculum, which led to them being sent opt-out forms. Now, as far as what I think of Black History Month, uh, I I think Black History Month is bullshit. For the same reason that I think Mother's Day and Father's Day are bullshit. Uh, as far as I'm concerned, every month is Black History Month, and what I would like to see, like I see the continuation of Black History Month as a form of historical segregation, and that's what makes me uncomfortable. And I can understand, like, putting myself in the mindset of a Utah parent. Jesus Christ, like the I don't think that this is intentional, but I can understand how a white family in Utah with only 3 black kids in their school might feel anxious at the notion of Black History Month because they would see it as a way to rub their noses in the white guilt or the white fragility, that kind of thing. Like, again, I'll link to Philip DeFranco's video below, but something that apparently was said was like, "Why do I have to spend a month feeling guilty for being white?" And I think that this is the kind of thing that happens when the like black people have contributed enough to society that you can integrate their accomplishments throughout the year. A clip that I would like to play because this what is his name? Damn it, Daryl something here. Daryl Davis. There we go. So when Daryl Davis went on the Joe Rogan Experience, he made this argument. I remember listening to this episode um, last year, and I'm really happy that I re-listened to this clip before going on air tonight because there was a part of his argument that I had forgotten about, which was that Black History Month really did serve a purpose in the sense that before black accomplishments weren't taught at all, and that's not cool either. In Before I summarize his arguments, I will let him explain it here. Here's a short clip.
We didn't have black history, all right? Yeah, what we had was called American history. It might as well have been called white history because that's all it was. And even in some cases, whites were being given credit for things they did not invent and for places they did not discover. But we knew, we were told at home, things like that, but not in schools. So we had to fight, fight, fight. And finally, we got 1 week. It was called Negro History Week. Carter G. Woodson created that. And schools had Negro History Week, 1 week a year. We continued fighting harder and harder. Finally, we got 1 month. Because, nobody's going to give us everything at one time, right? They dole it out little by little. So we got that 1 month, shortest month of the year, right? February, 28 days,
yeah,
okay?
that's...
No coincidence. But, but we accepted it for 2 reasons. It was the birth month of 2 of our heroes, Frederick Douglass and Abraham Lincoln, all right? So we accepted that. And then we stopped fighting, and that was a mistake on our part. We became complacent, all right? And now it's my belief that Black History Month has become detrimental to us, to all of us, white and black. I'll tell you why. Yes, we needed it for a certain period of time because we had nothing. But here's the problem. We only study black history in February. And each February, we study the same half a dozen people. Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Harriet Tubman, Booker T. Washington, George Washington Carver, and 1 or 2 other ones. By the time we get through half a dozen, our month is over. We did our black thing. Let's move on, right? Yet, we study Benjamin Franklin, Eli Whitney, Alexander Graham Bell, Thomas Edison, F. Scott Fitzgerald, Francis Scott Key, all year long. We're constantly reinforcing what they did all year long. We never forget who flew the kite and the lightning hit the key and we have electricity. We all know it's Ben Franklin, all right? But yet, if you ask some kid in June, say, who was Harriet Tubman? Oh, yeah, I remember her, yeah. She was that lady who refused to give up her seat on the bus. They got her confused with Rosa Parks because there's been no reinforcement since February. And then next year, next February, it's the same half a dozen people. All right? So you're constantly, I'm not taking anything away from those people. They were some of the greatest. All right? But you're constantly reinforcing that there were only 6 or 7 black people in this whole country who ever did anything. What about the guy who invented the traffic light? What about the person who invented the ironing board? And so many other black discoveries and inventions. Oh, well, we didn't have time for that. We only have 1 month. Yeah, but you got time to talk about Ben Franklin all year long, you know? Women's History Month is March. We need to get rid of that too. Take these things out of those months and put them where they belong, under the umbrella of American history, and teach them all year long. That way kids get accustomed to this, and they learn, and they have more respect for each other. Look, I remember when I was a kid, Miss America beauty contest. There were only 2 categories, and it was all white women. Black women were not allowed to join to compete in Miss America. All
So yeah, I don't want to play this whole clip. Sorry for before. My mic was muted. I muted it to clear my throat and forgot to unmute. That being said, he was about to transition into the story, which I think is a good analogy for this about how at first there were no white women competing in the Miss America pageants, so the black community at the time they started Miss Black America, and once Miss America, the Miss America pageant finally came around to their senses and let black women in, then they once they let black women in, there was no need for Miss Black America anymore. And I think that a similar thing is needed for Black History Month. There are enough. How can I say this? Yeah, as I said before, there are enough people, black people, who've contributed to society to have you know, to speak about black accomplishments consistently throughout the year, just like every day is Mother's Day or every day is Father's Day. What I was saying before, when I paused the video, I was talking about how if you if you spread out because I'm assuming the Rosa Parks thing, since you only have a month to cover like all of Black history, the civil rights, the part of the civil rights movement that Rosa Parks was participating in, is probably covered like within a week or less. And if you spread that out to a longer period of time, you could dig deeper into how as the notion that Rosa Parks was like this great woman standing alone in the face of tyranny, racial oppression by refusing to sit in the back of the bus. It kind of dilutes the contributions that the other people who are participating in this movement. Like this was a mass protest. I'm reminded of I'm reminded of an episode of the Boondocks where the kid's grandfather was sitting in the same bus as Rosa Parks was, and he was like, "Oh, she stole my thunder," and that kind of thing. Like, uh, uh, Jesus, this is gonna sound so bad, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Like the reason it's Rosa Parks' name that we remember, and not like the other people who are doing the same thing as part of this campaign, is part luck. Um, that I don't mean this to diminish Rosa Parks' contribution. I say this to emphasize the others that I can't even name that were there too doing the same thing. That's my point. So yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna fix this in post, but That is the end of the segment. Thank you very much for watching. Please give this video a like if you liked it. If you have something to say, I'm really curious to know. Leave a comment below. If you want more of this, want to interact with me in real time, tell me that my mic is muted. I do these streams every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern. I would love to see you there. Feel free to subscribe and ring the bell so you know when I go live. And thank you very much for making this far. And I will see you soon. Did I say thank you very much for making this far? I think I misspoke. But yeah, it's thank you very much, people in the chat, for letting me know I was muted. Again, I muted myself to clear my throat and forgot to unmute. Oh boy. All right. Well, that was fun. That was the warm up topic. Uh, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, if again, I wish I had remembered to lower the latency of my stream before starting. But hey, y'all are awesome. Thank you very much to those of you who are still here. Um, Man, I was not expecting so many grammatical errors in that. I wasn't expecting to see so many grammatical errors in that AP article. Holy shit. Um, like, I'm totally open to the possibility that I just suck at reading out loud. That's one of the many skills that I want to build. But it helps to in future. And there were a bunch of tiny little things like that. Jesus Christ. Yeah. All right. The next subject, I want to think a little about how I want to cover this. Ah, fuck. You know what? This segment might be over, but I want to share this with you because I recently learned this. If if I've been in your if you've been aware of me for more than a couple years, you've undoubtedly heard me mention this person, but you've forgotten, and that's fine. But I recently learned that I discovered this man. Sadly, I discovered this man years after he was dead. But Jay Dilla is a really influential hip hop artist slash producer, and I was thinking about him earlier today. I was jokingly calling him the James Brown of sampling. This is how monumental this guy is. If you've been interested in rap music or hip hop for any significant amount of time, and I'm talking 5 to 10 years minimum, there is a high there's a high probability that some of your favorite rap songs are actually Jay Dilla beats. I was very happy to discover some of my favorite beats when I was just listening to instrumentals of his. The reason I am bringing him up is because there was a YouTube video that the algorithm proposed to me, and I'm happy it did, where I learned, where are you? Whoops. Jay Dilla was both born and died in the month of February. So I learned this because the guy in the video called February Jay Dilla month, and that's what made me Google this. So that's what the month of February means to me. It's really cool. I would have liked to have mentioned this during the segment, but whatever. This is just a fun fact. And if you don't like rap music, that's fine too. But if you did, you'd probably enjoy Jay Dilla because most people did. James Brown of sampling, baby. All right, let's prepare for the next segment. I tried tackling this segment during my first stream. But now I have a reason to take another swing at it. So let's do it. Oh yeah, I know what I'm gonna do. Let me see here. Actually, I'll do this later. This is the important part. All right. Let's we're about 35 minutes past the hour. This stream's going pretty well so far. All right. Do I need any of this? No, I do not, because I will need something else. I'm really glad that the streaming a YouTube video while I'm watching it works better now. I upgraded my internet, so that explains that. You know, it'll make the stream better. It'll make my quality of life better in general. So why not? For those of you who weren't here last week, and I didn't even realize this until after when I was watching the segment. But even when basically when I was playing a video on stream, the whole stream was a choppy mess. Like holy shit! If you stuck around for all of that, thank you so much. Jesus Christ, I'm not sure I would have. All right, one last swig, and we'll we'll see what happens. Last time I talked about this, it wasn't good enough for me to judge it worthy of being uploaded. So let's see what happens this time. I don't know how severe your local government has been handling this COVID situation. But here in Quebec, we've been under a lockdown since Halloween. I'm recording this in early February. The Not only did our Quebec local government announce a lockdown in late October, but not only that, there was an 8 p.m. curfew that was installed throughout the province of Quebec somewhere around New Year's, I think. And I did not like that. I did not like that at all. I understand the threat of COVID-19. I understand the importance of keeping hospitals running. I understand the balance between keeping people healthy and respecting their freedoms, but a curfew is fucked up. And yesterday, Monday, February 8th, there was a big announcement. And the only thing that is different is that non essential businesses can now open. But basically, oh yeah, and children can start going back to school. But besides that, nothing else has changed, and there's no end in sight to when this curfew will be lifted. So I, I'm just some guy. A lot of what I am going to say in this segment might seem like medical advice, but it's just don't forget that I'm some loser who lives alone in his mom's basement, and you shouldn't take medical advice from me. And not only that, the some of the sources for the things that I've been doing to protect myself throughout this pandemic are other losers who live alone in their mom's basements. So it's losers in their mom's basements all the way down. And yet, these losers have managed to keep themselves safe from COVID, as far as I know, anyway. It's quite possible that I got it and was asymptomatic, but it's my approach was different. And in this segment, I want to share my strategy for COVID. Some of you who know me have heard me talk about this a lot, but I want to get this out on the record in case you watching this, who's never heard of me before, can you know do your own research and see if this is right for you. So to get into it, let's do a paint stream. Paint stream. Oh no 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 paint stream. Yes, and I need to remind you, where are you, paint? Hey, nothing but the best quality here. Where are you? No, that's not what I want. Well, let me let me go back here. The thing that I do when the splash screen is on has already been done. So, why aren't you showing? There we go. Okay. So, let me just adjust the size of this to that. Yeah. Okay. So, to illustrate what I've been doing, uh, let me paint an axis here. So, yeah, this should be good. Yeah, good. So, this is an axis, and on this end right here, let me just point the little arrows here. So on this end here are things that are fragile. And on this end over here, we're going to put things, oh, there he is, that are robust. Okay, now over on this side, the reason why I consider things on this side over here to be fragile is because if you're at the wrong place at the wrong time, you basically got COVID. Things like, no, you know what? Things like washing your hands. Things like social distancing. Let's like that. 2 meters apart. Things like what else? The things that you hear a lot. Oh yeah, of course. How could you forget? Things like wearing a mask. Things like that. And on this end, like these, the things on this end are the things that the government and the media are have been harping about constantly. You always hear them talk about this shit, but the fact is, no matter how well you wash your hands, oh, I forgot rubbing surfaces. Let's put a, I don't know, just a spray bottle. There we go. That's a spray bottle. Disinfecting surfaces. So no matter how well you're doing these things, if you get within 2 meters of the wrong guy at the wrong time, or if you touch the wrong surface and then touch your nose, or something like that, then you kind of get COVID. Now, the things that I focus on, and that I've been focusing on for almost a year now, is well, immunity boosting. So this, like, Jesus Christ, I it triggers me whenever I think of how often I'm the one who ends up bringing this up. Is so my strategy for almost a year at this point has been to make my body as inhospitable as possible to this virus. So it's quite possible that I've gotten it already, but just never got any symptoms. It's quite possible, and honestly, on a long enough time scale, we're probably all gonna get it, right? But it for me, it's all been about fucking supplementing correctly. So with things like, where's my, okay, things like vitamins. That's an N right here. The vitamins that I've been taking vitamin A, which I've added recently, B, C, D, E, and K. Of these things, the two that I would consider the most important, whoops, are vitamin C and D. Those are the two that, without going into details, I take a lot more than the daily recommended dose. Um, oh, hey, thanks for watching, Tricar. I think that's a goodbye message, but thank you. So yeah, I would say that of these vitamins that I've been taking, vitamin C and D are like the heavy lifters, and the others are kind of good things to have in a pandemic in your system also. Another thing that I've been taking is, and this you don't hear a lot about. It's chaga mushrooms. Chaga mushrooms, honestly, it's something that I've done a sinfully low amount of research on myself. However, the people the losers in their mom's basement, that I heard about this from, have touted it a lot. Let's let me just do a quick Google search, because apparently chaga mushrooms is one of the most well documented. Oh, yeah, it's right here in my search. Let's just Google chaga mushroom benefits. So you can get it in chunks like this or in powder. I prefer chunks. A chunk of chaga will make insane quantities of tea for you. That's my preferred way. But yeah, if you look at this, places like WebMD and things like that, this isn't like, alternativenewsfactsnow.com or whatever, like Truth Freedom Crusade Warrior Now. This is, I don't know to what I don't know to what extent medical news today. Medical news today sounds a lot like real facts now or whatever, but I'm gonna trust that Google wants, accredited things at the top of their list. So to continue, I take Chagati at least once a day. Where's my cursor? There it is. Another thing that I've heard that I never hear anyone talk about is turmeric. Actually, let me check. I put turmeric in. Wait, let me. Jesus Christ. There. I put turmeric in my rice, and I eat rice about 4 or 5 times a week. It's one of the many reasons that I've gained as much weight as I have during this lockdown. Uh, oh, my pen's over there. I'm sorry. So yeah, it's really saddening to me to hear so many people talk about the things on this end of the spectrum over here, and not anything on this end over here. And this leads me to an anecdote that I wanted to share. I remember a couple months ago, I had a follow up appointment to do with a doctor. It's nothing bad. It's just a regular checkup kind of thing, and I had to go to the hospital during the beginning of the second wave. And I remember being surprised at how beefed up the security measures had been, how beefed up the security measures were compared to the last time I was at that hospital. And after a while, as I was walking around through the hospital, I remember thinking, holy shit, my vitamin C levels are probably the highest in this entire hospital, including the staff. And, masks are mandatory and everything, especially in a hospital, like Jesus Christ. So when I realized that, like, as important as it is to wash your hands and all that stuff, as a matter of fact, even though I've heard of how apparently the virus doesn't spread mainly through surfaces. It's mainly through like particles in the air. So disinfecting surfaces isn't as important as we thought it was. The my I kept I kept applying the system that everything that enters this apartment gets disinfected. The only time that really becomes a nuisance is when I come home from doing the groceries. That adds like 20 minutes to the groceries at least. That's a bitch, but I still do it. And it was surprising to me how carefree I was in that hospital amid this pandemic. At certain points, I had an actual strut in my step. It wasn't like cocky, but someone who knows me would have known what to look for and would have noticed that I had this little extra spring, and that's the point. Like the problem with this, and this is why I knew early on, like, that I didn't want to rely on this stuff over here. Where's my brush? I didn't want to rely on this stuff over here, was because I I don't feel like getting nervous if some dude gets too close to me and then coughs. That would suck, and it's not a position that I want to be in, which is why, if it's like in hockey. I've used this metaphor before, talking about social distancing, washing your hands, wearing your mask, and not talking about boosting your immune system with shit like that. It's like having the best defenseman in the world and no one in net. That's not how you win championships. It's just not. I lost my train of thought. There was something else I wanted to mention before wrapping up, but yeah, the a benefit of whoops, a benefit of these, let's call them tyrannical measures, have has been that a lot of people are waking up that I wasn't expecting to. Like I know there's some normie friends that I never would have expected to question the mainstream narrative. That I remember when back in November, when the curfew hadn't even been announced yet, implemented, who were saying things like, "Jesus Christ, it's almost like we're in North Korea," and I don't know where your line is, but it's important to ask yourself where that line is. I know where my line is. I don't know what I would do if the government reached and crossed that line. I am not a fan of violent revolutions. Jesus Christ. No, I really hope that that doesn't happen. But I don't know how this march towards tyranny ends. And hopefully the 8 p.m. curfew gets lifted in a way where I don't have to find out. Like, we'll 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 lift the curfew for people who fulfill XYZ conditions. Um, that's not something I want to end up in a position where I have to decide. So yeah, listen, I just hope that you stay safe. And again, unlike the vaccine, for my own protection, the mRNA shots commonly referred to as vaccines, I will put them here in the robust section. Whoops. Come on. How could I forget the vaccine? There we go. Right here in the robust section. So, um, shit, I lost my train of thought again. I hope you're safe. I hope that you take this into account while you're waiting for the vaccine, which God knows when you will qualify to get this vaccine. God knows if they will even have a second dose for you, because I can't believe like I don't know about your government, but our government here in Quebec and in the United States, make sure to keep one for later. That's a really simple instruction, and the fact that they can't even do that right is very interesting. So the good thing is, no matter when you become eligible for the vaccine, um, you know things on this side of the bar, on the robust side, those are things that you can do right away. Chaga mushrooms might be difficult for you to find, but I'm sure you have like a local hippie store that sells that shit. And turmeric, you can get that in your local grocery store, and vitamins in your local pharmacy. So yeah, I just hope you keep that in mind, because this thing isn't over anytime soon, and you just you just want to make sure that your body is prepared for if you ever happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. So on that note, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up. I'm very curious to know what you think. Please leave a comment below. I do these streams every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, where you can participate in the chat. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe and ring the bell. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Ooh, with 1 minute to spare. Wow. Well, that was interesting. Let me just do a little thing here. Paint stream. Banana man and a man and a man and a paint stream. All right. I'm actually I'm actually doing something when I do that. Uh, that splash screen isn't just there for me to sing for no reason. There's a method behind the madness. I think that's the expression. Anyway, I'm blabbering on, and it's the end of the stream. Thank you so much for sticking around all this time. Whoever just joined us now, I hope you accidentally left and came back because I'm wrapping it up. So yeah, um, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see y'all next week. Thank you very much. Yeah, James, I'm glad the song came back too. Uh, I'm not just singing it for no reason. But on that note, thank you very much for watching. I'll try to remember to reduce the latency to make this even more interactive than it is tonight. But I think we made it on the other end okay. So yeah, thank you very much. I will see you next week.